We live in this strange time where accountants are telling us what kind of music to make, and I just think that that's wrong. And I think that there's a huge need and it's just a huge need for a vehicle for great music, and that's what I want to do with the label. I think that it's really great to be able to sell 100,000, 200,000, million records. That's fantastic, but that has to be a certain kind of record to do that. And I think that if you try and make a record like that, you've already failed. And I think that if you make great music, the money's going to come anyway. I think if you just make great music that you believe in, and people dig it, then the money's going to come anyway. You know, it's like everyone's going to do okay. I don't think I'm going to be sitting here in 5 years' time saying, oh, I'm a millionaire now. But I'm certainly going to have put some great records out and lived. When I signed a deal with System and we started discussing about the album and how it was going to be, this all came from a conversation when I played at De La Guardia in New York. De La Guardia is a show. It's a kind of dance extravaganza ballet, aerial ballet. That's about as best as I can describe it. It's an incredible thing, and they invited me to come and play at their show. That was the first conversation that I had with Eric Silver, who's the guy that runs System along with Lou. That was the first time we started talking about music. He's like, I really like what you played tonight. It's different, it's chunky, it's pumping. And I'm like, well, I think that we can make an album like that. I'm really into doing that. When it came down to the wire of actually choosing tracks for the album, and I think I put more into this album than I've ever done any other previous album. I thought long and hard, and I've put records away for the last year. You know, kind of like when they come out the box, they've gone to a special place and there for the album if and when that happened or whatever. So, you know, the pumping and chunky tracks were in there along with the other tracks, and I was like, when I started programming, I'm like, these have definitely got a finite, they have a shelf life. By the time March comes round, I felt that they might be a little bit tired and a little bit old. And me being me, I just kept finding these wonderfully beautiful tracks. These like melodic, but kind of funky and a little bit of everything. So that's how it just came together like that this time. You've got to try and choose records that, I said this, I don't know if I said it to you or someone else, that aren't going to piss you off in 6 months' time. You know, I don't want to put a record on there and think, you know, that was really great at the time, but now it's kind of like, that's not to say it's a bad record, because they're all great records. I wouldn't play them if they're not great records. But as I say, you know, they've got a shelf life, some of them. There was one famous incident actually on Love Parade, when a certain artist who will remain unnamed refused to be on it because there was some political problem with the record label and that particular artist, and he's a friend of mine. Oh no, that's like edit right there, and they're a friend of mine. We won't generize, but they were just adamant. No, I'm sorry, I don't want my music affiliated with that record label. So you can say, you're cutting your nose off to spite your face, but that's their choice, it's their music. There was a few sketchy moments on this one too, and people were just not getting back, and we were in the middle of recording. But it panned out in the end. Well, you know, because we've been recording the album in the studio, I deliberately took 2 weeks out, and then I had another week off anyway, so that was 3 weeks of not being on the road. And even though I complain bitterly about being on the road, you know, and I do complain about it, I'll be the first to admit I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to the whole travel thing. I'm just, you know, I really do miss it. I miss the fact that I miss being out. I miss kind of getting away for a little bit and just being out there, and it's kind of a venting thing for me, you know. I truly believe that it's time to go back to roots. I think that the market is hugely oversaturated. The DJs in general, their wages are incredibly inflated, and I think that the bubble has to burst. And I don't see the value for someone who's at college, not earning a lot of money with his job on the side, who's got to go and pay $50 to go see a DJ. I just think that that's a lot of money. You know, by the time you've taken everything into account that night with your drinks and everything else, I don't know whether I can afford to do that. I'll be honest, the label's going to be a big pain in my arse. Well, it is, because there's only so many hours in the day, and I have so many things to do and so many things that I want to do. And I'm doing the label because it needs to be done. And because I'm sick of dealing with the bullshit of major labels and affiliated labels to them that listen to something and go, yeah, but can you put a vocal on it? Or yeah, but can you make that top line louder? Or can you? It's like, yeah, we can do that, but I don't want to do that. You know, it's like, so the label is what it is, and I figured that if I was going to do a label, then it shouldn't just be for me. It shouldn't be just about me. rfactor-recordings.com is a very simple website. It will be very point and click. There's not going to be a lot of flash on it. It'll just be, it's there to provide a service, information and product. I don't see any other reason to have anything else there, other than the information about the artists that are on there, links to those websites if necessary, or if those websites, if they exist, and information about the label and what's going to happen and what's coming out and what's not coming out, and you know, that's it. I don't want to put anything else there. As I say, the record label is not about me. If people want to know about me, they can go to my website. They can go to daveralph.com, and that's very, very much about me. But I'll be as featured as an artist on the website, and that's it. Who is it? Yeah. You just completely interrupted my interview. No, it's alright, mate, don't worry about it. Very chilled. I know, right? A pro would have turned the phone off. Can I call you back in a little while? I would say we're a good... How long do you think we've got to go? Like, say, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. All right? I'll call you as soon as we're done. All right, mate, bye. That's funny.